Hello. Hello everyone. Oh, this is a little bit, no, not better, is it? Let's get this better. So it's clearer. A little bit more. Oh, it's fallen off the table. That's no good. Sorry guys. Getting it there. Who is with me today? Who is with me for the kids session today? I know we've got Rosie who will be, hello Tammy from Virginia. Rosie is here as well. She'll be answering your questions as she often is on our sew-alongs. Hi Pauline. Hi Anessa. Lots of good mornings. So I'm assuming quite a few people watching from the States. Hello, Joanna. Hi. So, no children, but this is now part of my day. Great. Well, that's fab. Hello. Rosie's online now, guys. Hi, Una from Dublin. So, are my niece and nephew, is she watching this one? They might be in the middle of their homeschooling, so they might not. But I know that last week they watched it afterwards, and they made some lovely little monsters. So hopefully some maybe little ones aren't watching this, but you will be watching it later. So what we're going to be doing today are these super fun rainbows. Now these rainbows are inspired by the rainbow pictures that people are putting in their windows, and so you can make one of these and attach it in. I've put a little sucker and I have it hanging in our front window to cheer people up when they walk past on their little rainbow trails. So what we're going to do to make that, we'll see how, we've got half an hour for this session, so we'll just do as much as I can, but I can explain things to you guys. So the first thing you need to do is get a template. Now I have not got a printer that works at the moment at home, which is a bit of a pain. So what I did is I drew one out. If you are drawing one out, just make sure it's symmetrical by folding the paper in half. But there are loads you can print off on the internet, so make life easier. And then the first thing you need to do is cut out. Now I realise I haven't got any paper scissors, so the sewers that are watching this are gonna have a heart attack. So I'm about to use my fabric scissors to cut paper. Oh gosh, this is really hurting me. It's hurting me, guys, it's hurting me. So, oh, my rainbow. So what you need to do is cut it out. Your red felt, which is the back of this. So if we hold this up, so this is actually one big piece, the red, whereas the others are strips that are sewn on. So cut that out, and then what you do is you cut each row of rainbow out separately, so you have all the little bits like this. Okay, now if you've got access to bondaweb, which is this really great stuff that you can iron onto the back of felt or other fabric, and you can peel it off and then iron that onto some more felt. So I did that with this one. If you don't, then you can just use PVA glue, but I'm going to use this because it's quicker. So what I've done to my little separate pieces here is I've labelled them the colours, because once you start cutting them up, it is hard to remember what was what. So I've got my orange here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin that to, can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. Pin that to my piece of orange felt. Now you could draw around this, you don't need to. You don't need to pin it, you could just draw around it instead. And then I'm just going to cut out my orange rainbow piece. So there's a lot of cutting and sticking for this project, and a little bit of sewing at the end. That's that. So that's that one done. Next, I've got yellow. and I put my bondaweb on that one already. I am going to show you guys how to do the bondaweb on the, I've got the purple and the blue to do. So it depends on what colours of felt you've got. You don't have to, you know, a rainbow can be your own interpretation of a rainbow. If you haven't got all the colours of the rainbow that is normally in the rainbow, then put less in or mix it up. Make it whatever colour rainbow you can. It really doesn't matter. Just have some fun with it. And if you haven't got felt, you could use other bits like old clothes, perhaps. Often children's clothes are quite brightly coloured. Cutting up an old baby grow, old t-shirt, whatever you can find at home. You could also use, to think about, what about cloths? Sponge, those spongex cloths, they're often nice bright colours. I'm not sure how, you'd probably have to glue those. And you wouldn't be able to use that as a base. So what have we got? Orange, yellow, we've got green. Got my green here. Put the pins in that. Oops, the daisies, that's my needle. Gonna need that later. Okay. So it's anybody who is, I hope if you've made your monsters, you've hung them up in the window as well. Or maybe you've hung them on your bedroom door, or maybe you've hung them up in the kitchen. Where have you put them? You can make as many as you want. You could make a monster a week. Now, mums and dads and brothers and sisters, adults who are watching, we are doing all of these videos for free because we want everyone to be able to have a go and have an activity that they can have a go at. But we are a small business and we are struggling like all small businesses at the moment. So if you want to support us, you can buy us a coffee, which is £3 through the donation site ko-fi.com. The link is in the description box and I'm sure Rosie will shortly put one up, and it just uses PayPal. So you can just buy us a coffee through that if you want to, as a thank you and to show your support. Right, I'm now going to pull this in because we're going to do, I put my glasses on, I don't know why. I'm getting increasingly tired eyes with all this sewing. So I've got blue and purple left, both of which are very small. And this is the bondaweb that I got. It comes on a roll if you buy it, if you see it in a shop. But if you're buying it yourself, you might actually get it in smaller pieces, folded up. We are thinking though, we are trying to put together some felt crafty packs. So all the materials that I'm using, like the sequins, the felts, the embroidery threads, the bondaweb, and then we will have them up on our online shop, which we are launching again today. So we are going to try and get those up this week. Bear with us. But we know then it'll be nice, easy packs for you to buy for doing crafty bits at home. And then you'll have a lot of the materials for the things that I'm making here, because we know how much, we know it's hard to get these things, especially from Amazon and stuff at the moment. Rosie's just kindly said, thank you very much to those who've donated. I did forget to say that. Sorry, guys. Thank you so much. I know some of you are watching, have been watching every single one, and you have been incredibly generous. So thank you. We really appreciate it. And it makes us smile every time a little donation comes in. So thanks, guys. We will get through this. We will get through this. I find when I'm doing craft with Jasmine, we put music on as well. And that can be really nice to make a nice fun atmosphere. So if it wasn't for you guys, I might have a bit of a Disney song on right now. Okay. Oh no, I did that wrong. That's okay. That's the purple one. The blue was meant to be that. Concentrate, Lisa. Whoops, the daisies. Well, I don't really know why. Actually, do you know what? It doesn't matter, does it? There's me saying it doesn't matter if you get it up. It doesn't matter. Let's do it the different way around. Really doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm just now doing my last one, which is very little bit. It goes in the arch of the bottom bit of the arch of the rainbow. Okay. Okay, so we now have this and we now have these. So what we've got to do is we've got to take the paper off the bondaweb. Now if you're using glue, then you don't have to worry about this stage. You can just glue them straight on. But if you're using bondaweb, then you've got to you peel this off like that. And then we can start to position our rainbow. If I do it that way around, I kind of need to get a little, kind of almost like a table that's raised slightly so you can see. So we've done our orange. Now we're going to go on to our yellow. Oops. The yellow is kind of coming off, but it's also bringing it off the felt. That's no good, is it? Let's try in a different place. Sometimes if you just make a little rip, it then peels off, and once you've got it off in one place, it's much easier to then take it off all the way. So there's the yellow, popping that down, rainbow taking shape. And then next, we've got the green. Oops. There we go. So green. I hope we're going to be able to fit actually my purple and blue in. And then purple. It was so funny when I was doing this, I was singing it to myself. Red and yellow and orange and green, to remember it. Purple and da 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 da. Okay, last little one. Come on, Mr. Blue. Let me take that. There we go. Mr. Blue is there. Oh. Looks lovely. Right, so I've put my iron onto a medium setting, which is what the bondaweb manufacturers say. Now, if you're doing this at home, make sure you're doing the ironing bit with an adult, because this could be a risky thing. You don't want to get burnt. And ideally, you want to use something like a piece of thin fabric, which I'm now looking like I don't really have. So I'm going to have to use some paper. But a bit of thin fabric in between the iron and also the rainbow, and you just then iron. Can you? Sorry, you can't really see, but you just iron over, and it fuses it. It's very, very clever. Yeah. Someone just said they like my outfit. Thank you. Those of you who are watching, who've been watching everything, this I made a headscarf from the scraps from the Betty dress. This is an Edie top, and this is a cardigan from where? Guess where? Sezam. My favourite shop. Okay, so can you see those bits sticking out there? So now what I'm going to do, just cut along there. So that levels off. And then I'm going to take another piece of spare felt, and I'm going to place that over there like that, and pop a couple of pins in just so it holds it in place. Oops. And then I'm going to cut it out. And what I'm doing, oh look, it looks like that needs a bit more ironing, to iron that again. Okay, so it's my back of my rainbow. Let me just quickly iron that again. He wasn't very happy. I don't know why that's not. Oi! Come on! I know that my iron can actually take, or my felt can take some heat, so I'm not worrying too much. It is still not fusing though. Take the paper off that one. Let's turn that heat up. I think that's maybe why. Take those pins out as well. Got to be careful when you've got pins with little plastic heads. You can actually melt them with the iron, which is not ideal. There's that one that's heated up. There we go. Much better. Okay, I don't want to waste any more time with that, but it does need a little bit more ironing. So we are now going to do the sewing bit. So we're going to take some embroidery thread. Now, if you don't have embroidery thread, you can just use machine thread. And if you have a look at this, I've just stitched round it all the way around, and then we are stuffing it. Now, if you don't have any stuffing, you don't need to stuff it. You could just leave it flat. Doesn't matter. I'm just separating, excuse me, my embroidery threads. So they're made up of 6 strands, and what I did is I just separated it and divided it into 3 and 3. Just makes it easier then to thread through a needle. So you want to use a needle that has a big eye and it's relatively sharp, because it won't go through the felt if it's a blunt, like a yarn needle, and most children's needles are like that. Now you can then tie the 2 ends together and put a knot in it, and that will mean it won't keep unthreading. I'm just going to keep it like that to save on thread. But if you do that, then you just need to keep an eye on your shortest bit to make sure that that doesn't get too short and then come out of the needle, because you'll be forever rethreading, which is a pain. So let's pop those pins back in so it keeps everything in place. Okay, and then we're going to start stitching. Now, I can do it like, how can I do it so that you can see it? Like that, I'll try. Actually, no, it'll be easier that way because I'm left-handed. So, we're just going to do a really easy running stitch, okay? So, in and through. Now, you can do it in smaller stages. You can just go into the back and out to the front. Like that. Into the back, pull your needle through and out to the front. Okay, and don't worry about your stitches being too neat, doesn't matter. This is all for fun. It doesn't matter if things aren't perfect. It also doesn't matter if sometimes your stitches accidentally go over the edge of the felt. It really doesn't matter. So it's essentially a running stitch is what we call this. So I'm just going to now do that all the way along. You can see my stitching on that side. All the way along the top there. You want to ideally have enough thread so that you can do all the way along the top and also along the bottom. But if you don't have enough thread, you could just do all the way around and then knot off your thread and then do more, do another thread for the bottom. I think I had to do that for this one actually. I didn't have enough thread on that, and you can see it's just as neat. So just keep going with that. Now if you're going to stuff it, now would be the time to get your stuffing. Now I don't actually have much stuffing going free at the moment, so this one I'm going to keep flat, whereas because I've already got a stuffed one. So if you are going to stuff it though, you can just open it up like a little pita bread, pop your stuffing in there and then hold it closed, and then you carry on stitching along the bottom, closing up the rainbow. So all the stuffing stays in. Oops. Just doing some really quick sewing here now, guys, so sorry it's not my best, but as I said, doesn't matter. I love looking at all these bright colours, it really cheers me up. I think it will cheer everyone else up who walks past our window. I think we're going to have one in the window, and we're going to put one on mine and Jasmine, it's my daughter, on her door. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to do a little knot now just to finish off at the end. Just tie my end off, and then I'll cut those, and then I'll show you a bit up close so you can see what I've done. Take my pins out. There. Hi Larianne, you got up. You got up really early. So there's the back and there's the front. Okay, so now the exciting bit. I love me a bit of sparkle, and we have got some sequins, delving into Jasmine's craft stash, and I've got all those lovely sequins. So what I'm going to do, doesn't matter if you don't have these, but if you've got them, why not put some sequins on? So I've got, just what I found really easy to apply this is a rubber on the end of a pencil, and I've got some PVA glue, and I'm just dipping that in let's see if I can just pull this down so you guys can see. Sorry. You can see a bit more clearly there. There. And I'm just going to do it on the red because haven't got orange sequins, so I'm just going to put some there, and then I get one of these and I just put it where I put the glue, like that. I'll quickly do the other ones and then I'll show you. Sometimes this PVA glue does absorb into the felt, and then it's not sticky anymore. There. So do that again and just carry on around my red arch. Pop in some random little glue dots. Put a few more in. Oops. And then get my sequins. Now if you don't have multicoloured sequins and you've got silver or gold, use whatever you have. Doesn't matter. Oopsie daisies, my glue's gone everywhere now. Let's put another few down. Okay, and get a few more. So what I thought I'd do is the same as what I did on this one, which is I did the yellow and I did green. Did I? No, blue. Yellow and then blue. So it's kind of alternate colours, which worked out well with the sequins that I have at home. And it's nice if this is going to be in the window when it's sunny, these sequins are going to sparkle in the sun and give somebody hopefully a little bit more of a smile. It's what we all need. Oops. There we go. And then the last one, oh, I said blue, but because I've done mine opposite with the purple, I'm going to have to do, I don't think I've got purple ones, so I'll just put blue ones on my purple felt. There we go. Put my glue out the way before I ruin Mum and Dad's table. Okay. Oops, daisies. So they'll dry and then they'll be sparkly and sticking to that. Okay, so let's push this back up again so you can see me. Oops, the daisies. Oh, we're a bit wonky, aren't we? There we go. No. Sorry guys, I do have quite a few issues it seems with this tripod, and you can't see me at all. There we go. Move. Ooh. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little loop on the top of our rainbow so that we can hang it in the window. So I am going to take a needle and thread, and this is my thread that's already smaller, that I've already separated. It's the other side. Come on. Okay. And then I'm just going to put a stitch in the middle, and I'm going to allow that needle to come off and then tie my two ends together like that. Put a little knot in it like that, and then you could, if you've got one of these little suckery things, you can put it on one of those. You could tie it to that as well, or if you don't have one of those, then you can just sellotape it to the window or use blue tack. Doesn't really matter. Or hang it on your door. There we go. So that is the flat one and that is the padded one. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. And don't forget to share photos of your makes. If you have, please do tag us at Sew Over at London on Instagram. And we also have the hashtag Stay Home and Sew Along. So happy sewing, happy rainbow making. I'll see you next week. We're going to be doing little secret pouches and purses next week on the Monday morning children's slot. So I'll see you then. More felt, more buttons, more threads, that sort of thing. Same sort of thing that we've been using. And those of you that are just watching this and want to join in with the beginners, I'll be coming back online at 2 o'clock and we'll be doing some beginner sewing. So I will see you then. Bye.